Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 4. I don't know where the TP is already going. Um, we've got our first list of people who are going to be starting on placement this week, and a couple have already started. So I'm going to go through so that we can all congratulate them. I'm sure all our best wishes are with you, and we're all very excited about you going out there and learning from your experience. So hopefully all these people will post up onto the DV about what happened in week 1. I will put up a thread this week where we can start discussing what happens in week 1, because it's always really interesting to be able to word it because it's such an exciting moment, and also so that everybody else can learn from your experience. I think it's really important that we're all sort of collaborating and making sure we're like a community and we're all here together to support each other through this, because week 1 can be very, very daunting. We've started discussing lists of things that we could take on placement. So just before you go, it might be a good idea to check that out. But I saw some fantastic posts about ideas to do. Deanna put a post up about her idea of taking a photo of her fridge and putting that up for the children to see so they can discuss. It tells an awful lot about Deanna. You have to go in and have a look at that. But it's a great idea, because if the kids brought in pictures of their fridge door and what is on their fridge door, it does actually tell you so much. And almost everyone has a fridge door. It's a commonality between most people. So that was a really, really interesting idea, Deanna. I had never heard of that idea before. So thank you for posting that. And if anyone else has got great ideas for ways for the class to get to know you and for you to get to know the class, that would be fantastic. Whether you go in there and you get them all to make a little rhyme about themselves, or one of the people last semester got everybody to make up a little jigsaw puzzle on a piece of paper that also had all the information about them, and then they gave her the jigsaw puzzle and she made them all and laminated them. There's so many different things that you could do to do an introduction and to get to know them and for them to get to know you, because it's always really hard and you've only got 4 weeks on placement. So you've got to have an idea of a way of getting to know the children really quickly, but also being able to remember their names. So if you can, the idea is by the end of the first week, you should be able to know everybody's names. So if you've got any groovy ideas or really cool ideas for how you can get to know everybody in the class's names, if you could let everybody know that, that'd be fantastic. That's a wonderful thing to be sharing. So anyway, on to the people starting this week. I've got my list of people here that I've taken from the spreadsheet. So we have Aaron, Giuseppe, Kate B, Laura C, Natalie B, Nora, Rose, Sarah A, Tim, Alice, Alison G, Anne Lee, Emma, Fatima, Gala, Jackie K, Madison, Marcial, Pam, Rhiannon, Samantha, and Tolga. So, yay! Good luck. I wish you all the best. If you have any questions at all, pop them up on the DB in the threads that I'll put up there for you as support threads, and we'll all back you up 100%. Or feel free to email me at any time. As you probably all know, I'm pretty much in my emails all the time. So if you can do that, that'd be fabulous. But just remember, you're not on your own. You have got all of us. When people go on placement from face-to-face unis, they go out and they don't have a discussion board or a way of keeping in touch with the community that are all in the same boat. Whereas you guys are so lucky because you have a whole community of support. If you want resources, put that up there. I'm sure there will be people that jump in and say, yes, I've got this, I've got that. The Padlets are up there that are full of resources, and you can add to those Padlets. They're just like the other previous Padlets, where you can just keep putting on extra resources in that topic. And so we've got this huge communal bank. I'll move them further up because at the moment they're right down the bottom of the discussions because I didn't want too many near the top at once. But I'll bring that up this week so you've got all those resources. So feel free to draw on those. Feel free to share any more you get, because the more we can share, the more we can show we all care about each other, the more likely we're all to get through this sane, alive, and passing. So, yeah, that is the aim. Is we want you all to go through, get the best learning experience you possibly can, and pass this placement. All right, now just on some other topics, I will be catching up because I know there are a lot of people going on placement this week, and they've been going crazy on the board trying to get through all the activities before the placement, which is a great strategy, but it makes it really hard for me to keep up with everything. So this week I'll be going back over all the boards and making sure I'm catching up with everybody, and it should quieten down a bit on there. But the main threads that I keep checking on are the ones I'm putting up about mentor-teacher meetings, the first weeks, the Padlets, the stuff you're taking into the classroom, because those ones are where I know we can really build in the support and the community while you're on your placement. The task 2, we've got a collab on Thursday night. Some people have had trouble making the Prezi work, particularly with sound. I have a feeling it has to do with the browsers you're using and what's enabled and what isn't enabled. So if you can't I put the Prezi up on the discussion thread now, but if you can't make that Prezi work, can you please try it on a different browser, because it seems to be working in some, well, on my computer anyway, working in some. I had it working in Chrome and Firefox, but it would not work in Safari for me at all. So you might have different experiences depending on how current my updates are. So I have trouble keeping up with the updates sometimes. But yeah, have a go and see if the different browsers work for you. Why we are doing task 2. Now, task 2 isn't just about doing another assignment to load on you to make life hard. Task 2 is actually so that you've got a reason, because a lot of teachers, mentor teachers, when you go into the classrooms, don't like to give you control of a whole program. And it's really important that before your final placement, you've had a go at creating a literacy program and a numeracy program for the class you're going into. So, and for a specific class, because when you do your final placement, you're expected to be able to create these units of work. So what this is about is saying, okay, you go to your mentor teacher, you say, I've got to create these 2 units of work for my assignment, a literacy one and a numeracy one. Is there any part of the program that I could work this assignment in for you? If they say no, then you're going to have to try and come up with, just make up a literacy assignment unit of work. They generally don't say no, and get the mentor teacher to give you feedback on the work that you're doing. It needs to be able to address the diversity of your particular class. Now, some people think, oh no, I don't have any diversity, but there is diversity in every class, whatever sort of diversity it might be. Inclusivity, you might have children that are somewhere on the spectrum, or you might have the ASD spectrum, and you might have some people who are really, really above the normal range for that age group. You might have students that have dyslexia or ADHD or anything like that. You might have children from different cultural backgrounds. You might have some that are not speaking English as their main language. But if you don't have anything like that, it doesn't really matter, because in every class there is a huge range. So that will be the diversity you will be looking at. You're also doing including ICT, and I know there were loads of people. Mark, you were talking about using the ICT and making that a priority to use in a classroom. And I think that's great. We need to be able to include that in these units of work. So have a look. It's important to go in when you first go into the mentor-teacher meeting and have a look what sort of ICT they're using in the classroom. If you can't see any, obviously, just ask them, do they have digital cameras? Do they have iPods? Do they have any voice recording tools that they're using? Do they have pods of iPads that go around? All those sort of things are ways of utilising it. There will be lots of questions around this, I know, because there always are. But the idea is this assignment isn't just put here because people have decided to make you do more work. This assignment is a practical assignment that is preparing you to go on to your next placement. And it's getting you to look at how units of work flow. So what is the overall goal of the unit of work? And then showing a couple lessons that show how the unit progresses. And it's showing that you're looking, because one of the biggest problems that student teachers have when they first go into classrooms is they do everything lesson by lesson. They know what the objectives or outcomes are for that lesson, and that's what they're aiming at. They don't sort of see the big overarching picture that this is these objectives and we've got to do formative assessment to work out who has achieved that and who hasn't before we go on to the next one, because we're going to build on those from here, and what the overall picture is going to be. So that's the purpose of having this task here, is so that you're looking at the big picture and then looking at where all these lessons fit in the big picture and what they are trying to build towards creating. Okay, I think that's enough for me tonight. Hopefully that made some sense for you. Thank you to all the wonderful people who've been posting all the brilliant things up there. It is so good to read about where you're coming from and why you're doing this. And the mentor-teacher meetings have been fascinating to read about. Keep up the great work. If you have a look on the student portal, if you haven't got copies of unit plan or the lesson plans, because the unit plan is good for you to work towards the school's way of planning. So I know Sarah was mentioning Wilt from Walt, and including that there because that's what they were using in the classroom, which is absolutely fantastic. So have a talk to your teacher, your mentor teacher. This could be another thing you do at the meeting if you haven't done that already. And just find out if they have unit planners that they're using. Most teachers do. And you could use their unit planner. You can use the Swinburne one. You can alter the Swinburne one. You can set it up however you want to. Okay, have a great week and really, really good luck. All my hopes and wishes are with the people who are going out this week. I can't wait to hear how your first week goes, or even your first day, because the first day is often the most interesting. And I know we have people going straight into sports carnivals, so I hope it's not raining for you. Yeah, have a great week, and I will chat to you soon. Bye.